After completing my 10th class exams in 1979, my father suggested that I go and help my father's uncle and learns astrology. Mathematics being my favorite subject, I learned the calculations. My grandfather taught me how to calculate the inclinations of each planet and how to calculate the Lagna and the meridian center MC. And he gave me some birth charts to draw. Thus, I learned how to draw the birth charts first and showed interest in predictions. So my grandfather told me some predictions, some of the tips that he usually uses for predictions. And after learning those tips, I documented some of them. I verified with my father. While my father and my grandfather have laid the foundation for me to get interested in astrology, for almost a decade or 2 decades, I didn't show any interest.
Welcome to my Chandra Lagna Part 2. In this video presentation, I would like to emphasize how a native's profession can be determined using Chandra Lagna during the Venus cycle period, that means after the 24th year and before the 37th year. I had chosen this famous South Indian actress and for this analysis. If you look at it here, the native has did her bachelor's degree in computer applications. So the native has abilities in logical and analytical skills, and so that will tell you the reason that the native has some skills pertaining to the scientific side of as an engineering or the programmer, software side programmer or not. But apart from that, the NATO's career and what the education the NATO had and what the career the NATO had chosen is not at all related. That's the one reason why I took this chart for analysis. When you look at her career, before entering the film world, she was a yoga instructor. First, she got trained in under famous instructor Bharat Thakur in Bangalore, and then she became a yoga instructor. She had her own yoga institute, training institute. So the native had the ability to lead, to become a leader, because you own the institute and you run the institute indicates that you have the leadership abilities. And because you have to, not only that you have a leadership abilities, this native had good communication skills so that she could communicate with the effectively, so that the institute can, otherwise the institute won't be, she won't be successful in her running her institute. So those are the two major things that I would like to start emphasizing. Now, once she in 2009, we will go, when you go to Behavior Chakra Paddhati, I will tell, we'll see what is the reason. In 2009, even though she started her career in 2005, as her first movie debut is in 2005, and from 2005 to 2009, she had done a number of movies, but in 2009 was her first blockbuster hit, the fantasy film Arundhati in Telugu. And after that, in 2015, she had two major hits in Telugu, in the South Indian language Telugu. One is the Rudramadevi and the other is Bahubali. Bahubali was the movie that was dubbed in four or five Indian languages. So when you look at it, having this native had bachelor's degree in computer applications, is a yoga instructor. Initially, her career started as a yoga instructor, moved to the film industry, became the film actress. So, this tells you that when you want a native's plan, predict a native's career or the methodology used to earn money, we cannot rush by looking at one single house. When I go more in detail, like I will be first going through the D1 chart with Chandra Lagna, and then I will be going through the Bihurga Chakra Paddhati, and I will explain how the planetary positions had made this native to change according to Chandra Lagna. Let me go and do that one. Okay, let's now start analyzing the Chandra Lagna using Chandra Lagna, this native's chart. As I said earlier, first and foremost, when we look at Moon as the Lagna, the first house, from Moon, let's look at the different houses. Usually, when we look at any native between after the age of 24, since according to Bihuru Chakra Paddhati, the cycle ruler is Venus, I usually look for the possibility for the native to get married first. See, we knew that this native was not married as of now. So before we look for what are the other possibilities during the Venus with Venus as the cycle ruler in Behuruga Chakra Paddhati, let's go and look at vaguely or at a high altitude what's the reason for her to remain unmarried during the Venus when Venus is the cycle ruler. So when you look at it from Moon, the seventh house is Mars is residing in the seventh house. That's a without any doubt. When you look at it, you can say that this native, when Mars is in the seventh house from Moon, that particular native will have two possibilities. Number one, either the native gets married early and will have a lot of marital issues, or there will be a delay in the native's marriage, particularly when the native is a female. So, since this native is female, and since we knew that she was not married as of now, so the option that is we have chosen is that because Mars is in the seventh house, there is a delay in her marriage. And now comes the question is from Venus. When you look from Venus, Mars is in the 9, 12, 11, 10, ninth house. So that's okay. So it's if there's no kuja dosha here. So the only thing that you can see for this native from Moon is Mars being in seventh house. Next comes the question is with Venus as a cycle ruler, what exactly could have happened? So what we do is that let's look at with from Moon. Let's look and go back and see what is the role of Venus in the chart. Venus is residing in the 11th house. 11th house is Labhasthanamu or financial gains. And now Venus is from Moon. Venus is the lord of the 4th house and ninth house. That's very important here. Venus is the lord of the ninth house. So when Venus became the cycle ruler in Bihuru Chakra Paddhati, two things will happen. The Venus will activate the fourth house, which is the home life environment, or Venus will activate the ninth house, which is the Bhagyasthanamo. And since Venus is residing in the 11th house, it will be the house of financial gains. Now we have already said, now I already said that since Mars is in the 7th house, there is a delayed marriage. That means Venus activating the 4th house, or the fourth house getting activated or being the primary, playing a primary role during the Venus as the cycle ruler is not possible. So the only thing that is possible is the ninth house being highly effective when Venus is the cycle ruler. Ninth house is Bhagyasthanamo or earnings. Now, when you look at it, here is another beautiful thing I noticed about this chart. When you look at it in the ninth house, you have the seventh house lord, Sun. Okay, the fifth and the eighth house lord, Mercury. Those two are together, but along with them, the 11th house lord, 11th and 2nd house lord Jupiter is residing. That's a beautiful part for this native. Jupiter is the lord of the 11th house, financial gains, and the second house, Dhanasthanamo. So And where is it Jupiter residing? Jupiter is residing in the house owned by Venus. And we all know that Venus is residing in the house owned by Jupiter. So there is a Parivartana Yoga, the first thing, and this combination of Venus residing in Jupiter's house and Jupiter residing in Venus house, and the both, we love Jupiter being the lord of the 11th, 12th, 2nd, 11th and 2nd houses, and Venus being the lord of the ninth house. This unique combination will tell you that during when Venus is the cycle ruler in Brihurugu Chakra Paddhati, the native having uh, will be having more possibilities for the native to earn is very high. So making money, earning through her profession is very high. Now the question comes is, what type of profession does can this native have? Because ninth house lord is Venus, so the native has, and the 11th house, 11, Venus is residing in the 11th house, which is financial earnings, financial gains, and Jupiter is residing in the ninth house, the lord of the financial gains, and Dhanasthana Adhipati too. So something pertaining to Jupiter, Venus, Sun, and Mercury is possible for the native to earn money. I'm not saying that is her profession, I'm just saying that to earn money. So we'll start one at a time. Mercury, as I said earlier, a good communicator. So the native will earn money in a profession where communication, where profession, the communication skills should be, should the native should be an expert in improving her communication skills. Next, Sun. Sun, as usual, provides the leadership skills, and so the native has to work in a place where she will be either a leader for a group, as a team leader, or something dealing with leadership skills. Jupiter. Jupiter, as usual, it goes to academics or research institutions, or when I say, or a training institute or something like that. And comes the most important, the lord of the ninth house, Venus. We all know Venus is for arts and crafts, arts, music, etc. Now, when you go and look at the native's career, after what I heard is that initially the native had a yoga. She owned a yoga institute, and where she trained the students in yoga, and then she became a film actress. So when you look at it, the Venus cycle ruler Venus has activated, and the planets inside that ninth house, and made the native to earn from different perspectives. The reason why I want to say this is that when you want someone to know what is the native's profession, 10th house alone is not the one that one has to look at it. Those days were gone where you can say a goldsmith son will be a goldsmith, a ironsmith, a tailor son will be a tailor, and a king son will be a king. Those days are not gone. So what you have to look at it is the most important houses: the fifth, second house, Dhanasthana Adhipati; the sixth, ninth house, Bhagyasthana Adhipati; 11th house, Labasthana. These three houses are very important. And since we do not know the Lagna for this native, so we do not know the native's destiny. But we knew the moon, where the moon is stationary, so we knew where moon is saying. So from mind perspective, we can say that what the native wants, how the native wants to earn money, or how the native would get the money, you can say from move with the moon as your Lagna. Now let's go and start analyzing the native's chart with respect to Bihuru Chakra Paddhati. As I said earlier, when you look at the Bihuru Chakra Paddhati, it in November 2005, the Venus became the cycle ruler. So we go one bit ahead and see what happened from November 2004, because November 2004 through 2005, I think she was a yoga instructor. So let's go and see Mercury being the lord ruler, cycle ruler, and activated the 12th house from its natal position. We cannot, because we don't know the Rashi Lagna, we cannot say which one is the 12th position. But Mercury has activated the 12th house from its natal position. So go to look at Mercury. Mercury is in the ninth house law, which is Bhagyasthanamu, and it has activated the 12th house, which is the eighth house. Eighth house, Mercury owns the eighth house. Fifth and eighth houses are owned by Mercury. But when you look at it, Saturn is residing there. Saturn is the uh, planet that, which is the lord of the 11th, lord of the 12th and the first houses. Saturn is residing there. So Saturn has looked at it and might have made that this natives, whatever that profession that she was doing, is not the right one. Because remember, Saturn is the 12th house lord. 12 being a 12th house lord indicates that it is not this yoga instructor being a stationary job, and 12th house doesn't let that happen. 12th house sometimes deals with moving out of the country under the employment conditions, or for employment, or for luxury, or something like that. So Mercury, he couldn't do much about it. Then in November 2005, after the NATO completed her 24th birthday, that's when Venus got activated. If you look at her history, as I said earlier, somewhere in the year 2005, I don't know the month, exact month, but her film debut started somewhere between in 2004 and 2005. But the first movie that she has acted as a heroine, film actress, the first movie was released in 2005. So now go back and look at the Bihrugu Chakra Paddhati. Venus is the cycle ruler. Venus is the law. As usual, we all know that what is Venus. Venus is pertains to arts, music, creativity, and entertainment industry, fashion industry, all those things. And Venus has activated the first house. Venus is being the ninth and one, two, three, fourth and ninth house lord, has activated wherever it is residing, the house that it is residing. Good. Venus is residing is in the 11th house, and Venus has activated the 11th house. That's the very beautiful part of this. Now, when you go and 11th house is the Labhasthanamu, how financial gains. So, Venus has activated, being the Bhagyasthana Adhipati, has activated the Labhasthanamu, and we all know what Venus is. And Jupiter, wherever, and there is a Parivartana Yoga between Jupiter and Venus. So, we know that because of this Parivartana Yoga, Jupiter has to support Venus, and Venus will support Jupiter whenever whenever one activates it, the other will support it. So when Venus has activated itself, Jupiter will be there to support Venus. And along with that, with Venus being activated, and that means the fourth and ninth houses being activated, the planets in that residing the houses also gets activated accordingly. Now we go back and see what planets are there. Sun, Mercury, and Jupiter are there. As I said earlier, because of Parivartana Yoga, Jupiter will surely get activated. There's no doubt about that. Now the question comes is Sun and Mercury. Sun is the seventh house lord, which is nothing but just stay home. And then Mercury. Mercury is something that we have to look at it. Mercury is the good communicator. So the native has got an ability in the entertainment industry to prove her communication skills, which is exactly what one needs when it comes to become an actor. When you want to become an actor, along with your ability to act, you should also have the ability to communicate. So that's the one reason why I think this 2005 2006, when Venus activated the first house, her debut in the film industry became success. Now let's go back all the way to 2000, when the what is that when the movie in 2009, what is it, Arundhati became a super hit. Go back and see the Bihruga Chakra Paddhati, October 2008 through October 2009. See who is the which house Venus activates? Venus activates the fourth house from its natal position. One, two, three, fourth house. It's again the house owned by Jupiter. Venus is residing in the house owned by Jupiter. Venus is activating the house owned by Jupiter, and the fourth house from natal Venus is the second house from Moon. Second house is Dhanasthana Dipati. Fourth, Venus residing in the Labasthana Dipati, Labasthanamu, Venus being the Bhagyasthana Dipati, residing in Labasthanamu and activating the Dhanasthanamu. So, everything, all the three houses deals with money, fame and money. And how do you get your money? She either, because of her profession, the only way she can get money is by becoming famous in whatever the profession that she had chosen. And for this type of professionals, the only way for them to be famous is whatever the movie that they act should become a super hit, blockbuster hit. And that's exactly what happened for her during this period, and this made her so famous, and I'm sure that has changed her revenues drastically. Now when you go back all the way to the 2015, when Rudramadevi, when she became one more time when two of her movies became blockbusters hits in 2015. So when you go back to Bihurugu Chakrapaddhati and look at that, 2014 October through 2015 October, see who is Venus. Look at it. What is it activating? It is activating the 10th house from its natal position. Okay. Go back and see what is the 10th house. Saturn is residing there. And when you look at it, that is the 8th house owned by Mercury. 8th house from Moon. That's what I meant by 8th house owned by Mercury. Here, with Chandra Lagna, it's very difficult to say why, when Venus activated the 10th house, which is the 8th house from Chandra Lagna and where Saturn is residing, why the native was successful. So these are the deficiencies that you will notice when you do not know the time of birth, or when you do not know the Rashi Lagna. These are the deficiencies that you will be noticing. So at this point, I have no idea what's the reason, astrological reason behind for her success in October in 2015. That's what surprises me. But if I go back and say that, okay, uh, we have if we take a bit of here, little bit of 1 month plus or minus 1 month, and then you can say that from October 2015 through October 2016, Venus activates the 11th house from its natal position. I can consider that part of it. And if I consider that one from Venus, natal Venus, the 11th house is the 9th house from Moon. Remember, Venus owns the 9th house, and that's where Jupiter, Sun and Mercury are residing. So when Venus activated the 11th house from its natal position, it activated the 9th house from Moon, which it owns, and there are three important planets residing there. So in my opinion, I don't know whether when the movies were released or when she became famous in 2015, but I would say that between August 2015, this is October, so August, September, October, from September 2015 through September to October, September, November 2016. So during that period, September 2015 through November 2016, I would say that the activation, according to Bihur Chakra Paddhati, Venus will activate the 11th house, and which is the 9th house from Moon, and that's one reason why she became famous and became one of the most the film actress who with highest revenues. Now that we are doing the Bihurugu Chakra Paddhati, let's go and see what will happen after October 2016. If you look at the Bihurugu Chakra Paddhati, Venus will activate the 12th house between October 2016 and October 2017. 12th house from natal Venus is the 10th house from Moon. So the Moon, and the 10th house Lord is Mars, who is residing in the 7th house from Moon. So this tells you that there might be some sort of disturbances in her career, which is the 10th house, because from moon Mars is in the 7th house, which is owned by Sun. And I cannot exactly say what would happen to her career because we don't know anything about the native in detail. So my best guess is that she might withdraw from her career by October 2017. And when you go further one step down, the sun, like after October 2017, the next cycle ruler is Sun. Sun will activate the first house wherever it is residing. Remember, Sun here, I forgot to say earlier, Sun here is debilitated because Sun is in Libra means it is debilitated. It got weakened completely. And even though it is in the ninth house, because it got weakened, that's the reason why she could not continue to be the owner of the yoga training institute. See, this is one reason why when a debilitated sun is residing either in the ninth or 10th house, they would always were forced to work under someone. They cannot stand up and say that I am the leader or something similar to that. So with sun activating the ninth house, where sun is residing in the ninth house, and when in the next year, that means after October 2017, sun will be activating the ninth house. So the Bhagyasthan, again she will be starting something pertaining to whatever the profession that she has chosen earlier. He might go back to that profession or some profession similar to that one.